Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Upscale Skill Space. You are watching Data Science Syllabus, and in this, you are watching the seventh video of the sequence. In this video, we are going to talk about various visualization package, tool, and concepts that one must know as a data scientist. Whether you are a budding data scientist or you are already working as a data scientist, if you do not know a way to put forward your results, it's likely that you have not worked at all. This is the common convention that's followed in industry. So knowing the tool, presenting the observations or the results in a right way is must. So let's see what sort of information you should take care of whenever you are talking about visualizing the information or presenting the result. There are various visualization tools available within a programming languages as well, and as an UI user interface based tools are also available. It's totally up to you what you learn, but doesn't matter what you learn, you should know one of the tools thoroughly, and also you should know few visualization concepts. So visualization of the information is an art. This is not a field related to data science. It is in general a field, and visualization is not something very new. It has been there since long, long ago. The only difference is that in the old days, visualization graphs and plots were used by high level managers in the IT company to go ahead and respond or sell something to the client or customers. But being in data science profile, it's more likely nowadays you have to interact to your nearest audience very often. Now, when I say nearest audience, that could be your manager, that could be your client, that could be a stakeholder. If there is weekly meeting happening and you will be presenting something, you certainly you are going to make use of this visualizations. So visualization in general is a broader concept. You can learn it about from Google, right? What sort of questions you should learn from visualization, I'll just tell you in some time. Okay, now let's talk about few visualization packages that you should know if you are learning of it from a programming language like Python. So Python provides a lot of the visualization packages. Okay, but the most of popular ones are Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. Matplotlib is a very naive and useful only for static plots. If you're looking for any dynamic plots, well, matplot is not the good solution, but it's very easy to learn. So, and then you have Seaborn, which is built on top of matplotlib. You can also learn Seaborn. Seaborn comes up with little good looking, aesthetically better plots with less coding, so you can also stick to that. Well, Plotly is a very advanced form of a visualization package in Python. If you really want to make use of Python as your means of visualizing the information, then you have to and you must learn Plotly, because Plotly supports visualization on live streaming data, and it helps you to build dashboards, stories, which are must required within this domain. Because it's all about data, and whenever you have a graph in form of a table while presenting your results, it becomes much easier to communicate the information you are trying to communicate. And on the other side, as an audience also, it will be easy for me to grasp things visually, because graph plots, these are not concept related to data science. In general, these are meant for business people, and especially your audience will be business clients, and for them, they are already familiar with this means, and hence for them, understanding the information from graphs and plots will be much easier for them rather than you presenting to them. So that's the reason we stick to the graphs and plots. Going to art language, if you choose art as your programming language, then R also provides a package called ggplot. Well, ggplot is very versatile and again similar to that of the Plotly. But again, it is very powerful. It provides you all the tools for coming up with advanced tableau dashboard and storyboards. So you can have to learn ggplot. If you are not comfortable with programming way of learning these plots, then there are user based or drag and drop based tools already available in market, like tableau and power bi. You can learn them. But again, it's these are very easy to learn tool, but they are licensed. You cannot these are not open source, and hence you cannot use without paying for it, and the license for these products are very expensive. So the although your matplotlib, ggplot, plotly, these are free source, again they don't have advanced features. And at the other side, tableau and power bi has advanced features. Technical, irrespective of technicality, you can learn them very easily, and they also helps you to come up with advanced dashboards, storytelling, with just few clicks. So yeah, if your company supports you or sponsor you the tableau and power bi, I would say learn directly tableau and power bi. You will save a lot of time on daily basis than doing the same thing with your any programming packages. But again, if your company is not sponsoring you this license for power bi or tableau, then you are bound to learn either plotly or ggplot, and you have to learn. So the choice you can make based on what is available in your hand. And no matter what choice you make, you have to master one of the visualization package. Now, so this is about the package tool. What about the concepts? What concepts of the visualization you should know if you are new to it? Okay, you should be familiar with the various types of plots available out there. Well, we have a huge list. If you Google types of plots, you'll get a huge list. Okay, but at least there are a few common ones which are highly used, and mostly 90% of the time you would be needing them. So just at least practice. No, practice. What you should practice is what sort of when to use those plots. Okay, so the question here could be, can you use any plot on the any given data set? And the answer is certainly no, you cannot. There are certain guidelines provided, although you can technically, you maybe, but conceptually that does not make sense. And that's why there are thumbs up rules, and you must follow thumbs up rule. For example, if one of your variable out of the two variable that you are planning to plot, if one of them is time data and the other represents some continuous data, then of course there is something called line plot, which is the best plot to be used. In this scenario, you cannot go ahead with a bar plot. I mean, you, of course technically you'll get a plot, but it won't make sense for you to explain what the story is behind the data. Likewise, whenever you want to understand the summary of a data, then box plot is the best plot to be used, right? So there are certain guidelines, thumb rules. Again, these are general concepts. You'll find them on Google. Just Google out, learn them. And the better you understand these concepts, the more formed decision you will make while plotting the data you have in hand. And of course, you'll be better able to present that to your audience, and you'll be getting the right going to the right direction. um, Whenever you are plotting, make sure you look from a data scientist perspective, and you don't just look generally, but from a data scientist perspective. And how does a data scientist look through a graphs? So a data scientist make use of graphs certainly for data mining. What do you mean by data mining? Trying to look for the patterns which is hidden within the data, and which may not be visible to the audience or to the non data scientist people, but as a data scientist you should be able to capture. And while doing so, I would ask you to follow three steps. Although you can frame your own steps or your own way of doing that, but generally the most effective way that can be used is this one. You can always first note down the observations that you can make out from the graph, what whichever things are easily visible. Okay, and then using those observations you can look for any insight you can get out of it, anything new you can by connecting the dots from what you can see, uh, right, can you come up with something new? And using that, can you infer something new about your model? Now let's say you have a variable called okay weight. weight of a person. And of course, when you plot on it, depending on okay, let's say you want to understand uh, the distribution of the weight. Of course, the best plot here would be histogram, either histogram or distribution plot. And you have come up with the weight. It can show you a bell-shaped curve. If you are familiar with the Gaussian distribution, something like that, symmetric form, or the skewed form. It can be left skewed, right skewed. So that's the observation. Now, what can be other insights out of it? The other insight can be, okay, left skewed means that it has a lot of the points which have larger value and far away from mean. That could be the insights. Then what extra inference can you draw out of it? Well, that says this feature would not be right in the raw form to be used for the machine learning model. That's the inference I can draw. So what should I do? I should transform this feature. Well, a lot of the things what I spoke, it did not go through your mind. That's totally okay. You will get them gradually as you practice the data science. For the stuff that I just spoke, you need to have a strong statistical background, machine learning background, and problem solving background. Then only you will be able to relate. And yes, this is the task, these are the jobs of a data scientist. So do not worry, it will take time for you to develop them. So at this point of time, just go ahead and add more tools to your toolkits, and later once you'll be deployed to your project, make use of these tools in the right direction to upgrade your skill sets, to advance as a data scientist, and to come up with the more data from the data set, right? I hope this is useful to you, and I will see you in the next video where I'll be discussing about the SQL query. And till then, you have a happy learning. Thank you.